Why are you at Christ Church School? This question is one most students of CCS will hear at least once during their years here. By fellow students or others. I was no different. During my 8th grade year, one of my fellow students asked me why I was at Christ Church. At the time, I gave the first thing that came to mind, because I wanted to be, and chose to be here. However, this was not the full story, not even close. The truth of the matter is, my journey to Christ Church was a series of events, and not one moment in time. So no, I did not come here because I got into a fight at my old school, as rumor would have it. Only a few of you actually know the truth of why I am here. But today, I am ready to let you all know my story. It all started on August 23rd, 1993. The day that I was born, and the launching pad of my journey. My mom, who was still a teenager at the time, and my dad, who never went to college, were probably the happiest parents that day. However, it was not destined to last. I was still a baby when it happened, so I only know what I have been told. But by age 3, I no longer had a mother. My mother, for whatever reason, decided to kidnap me and take me out of the state while the divorce was still in process. For this violation, custody went to my father, and that was the last I ever saw of my mother. However, this was just the first lift of this roller coaster. Now, let's fast forward to August 24th, 2005. Just one day after my birthday, I am hanging out with a group of my friends near my house, just playing around, when my phone rang. It was my father. He told me I needed to come home quickly, while at the same time, I heard unfamiliar voices in the background. Little did I know, this would be the first drop of my life. For many of you, I'm sure it would be hard to imagine seeing your father in an FBI vehicle with handcuffs on. I was told that he was going to jail, and that someone would be here to pick me up in a few hours. And then, they just left me. Now, I had just turned 12 years old, only one day before, and here's the FBI, leaving me alone to wait. Needless to say, I was very scared and very confused. So I went into my house, gathered a few things, and waited. Sure enough, a few hours later, an officer picked me up and brought me to Child Services, where I would spend 3 whole days with a very interesting crowd. But luckily, someone did talk to me about other relatives that could take care of me. But I knew of only one during that time, my grandfather. So that is what happened. I was put on a plane and shipped from San Diego, California to Kilmarnock, Virginia. I thought the drop of the coaster was over, but this coaster had a lot more in mind. Now before I continue, some of you are probably wondering why my father went to jail. It was for breaking a federal law that is a crime of up to 10 years. I will not go into detail of what exactly he was doing. Just know that it was enough to get himself into serious trouble. Now, life with my grandfather was rough the first few years. My life had done a complete 180 from what I had in Chilliwack. It was so rough that there were times when I completely hated him. However, around the second drop of this coaster is when that all changed. It was just another day when he came into the living room. He sat down next to me and told me something that would change my life forever. I was told that my father had his trial that day, and that he would be in jail for another 3 years. After that, my grandfather hugged me and broke down into tears. I'm not really sure what happened that day, but everything changed after that. With the coaster now going in a straight line, I could focus on more important things, like summer camp. The summer of 2007, I attended a summer camp at Christ Church School for 3 weeks. I had such a great time, so much so that I decided this was going to be my school. And that August, I was signed up and ready to attend my 8th grade year at Christ Church School. One of my greatest choices. So as you can see, my coming to Christ Church was not chosen by one given event, but many that happened to just line up. Today, I am 18. There was a whole other battle for me when my father was released. But I chose to stay with my grandfather. I learned that my father was not allowing me any contact with my mother. But I have actually gone to talk to her and hope to meet her someday. And my 3 half-brothers, whom I have never met. I have a questionable relationship with my father because it was scarred with the custody battle with my grandfather. I also have to thank my grandmother for paying and allowing me to attend Christ Church School, because without her, I would still be attending Northumberland. However, most importantly, I have to thank my grandfather, who took care of me when I had nowhere else to go, and turned my life around before it was too late. Thank you, Grandpa, and thank you, Christ Church School.